instead of just a race recap. But it's late and everybody's kind of winding down for the night. But I'll show you my sweet camping arrangements. So welcome to Poor Motorcycle Drag Racer Cribs. Oh, you made it. Come on in. How about that, huh? So here we have the kitchen. Here's the closet with my gear bag. We have the garage is over on this side. Bedroom is over here. We'll go to the patio door. We got the heating and air conditioner set up here. Helmet rack, you know, my tools. We got another closet down here next to the fuel. But yeah, this is how I camp it out, and I freaking love it. Well, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Time to pack up Chateau de Turbo here. And yeah, we're gonna see, it's starting to warm up here. It's almost 60 out, so it might actually be an okay day here. I don't know what the turnout's gonna look like. I'll do a little walk around and we'll start rolling in and see how many bikes we get. But for now, I'm just gonna get packed up and then I'm gonna sit down and have some breakfast, get changed, and relax a little bit in the big, oh, that was Wisconsin. I mean, the big chair. Yeah, we got my big chair and relax. Yeah, you know. Okay, we'll see who else shows up now. It's all unloaded and set up, ready to go. We just went and drew chips. We are doing 2 shakedowns and going in the first round. Unfortunately, I drew my buddy Nem first round. So 2 Fuel Tech bikes first round. Sucks. I didn't want to race him first round, but it is what it is. We'll get 3 passes today regardless, so I'll still get more data and more seat time, which is fun. So now I'm going to take a nap, wait for him to run through a bunch of car classes, and then when they call us up, we'll see how it goes. So this was the first test pass of the day. Nothing spectacular, kind of the same tune-up I've been running since the last time I was out testing. Front end came up just a touch and I quick shifted it. I didn't lift, but I just quick shifted second. So you see a little stutter about I don't know, 60 feet out or a little more maybe. But a pretty clean hit for a first pass on pretty low prep. All right, second test hit here. Didn't really change much with the tune, but at this point, I was just hoping the exhaust was going to hang on and not come off and hit me in the leg. But it spun the tire just a little bit, and then it started to pick the front end up. So pretty shit pass, honestly. But it got down, but definitely could have been better. So third pass here, this was first round against Nem. At this point, we were all kind of brainstorming and realizing the track is not great. It's starting to go away. So I put a big timing retard in at the launch and took a little bit of power out and just tried to make it soft. At this point, I just wanted a full throttle, clean hit. It was slow, but it made it all the way down clean. Nem had me covered, but he unfortunately spun and I got around him. So on to second round. At this point, the exhaust is gone. I only got a 3-inch nub hanging off the turbo and no O2 sensor, so we're just running it on what the map was. Fortunately, it's close enough to make a full hit. This pass was pretty decent. I feathered it just a little bit when the front end started to ride just a little bit, but not terrible. Probably second best pass of the day. And fortunately, it was a bye run. Final round here against a Nitrous Busa, a fast bike. This pass, I went 001 on the tree. Left good, but then it kicked the tire. I chicken winged it, got back in it, and then when it made this shift, it actually popped the plenum off. So it was race over at that point. It nosed over, but on the return road, everything was running fine, so I knew it was something simple. And we got back to the pits, and that's what we found. Plenum was dancing around. Same final round pass here from a different view. It was kind of nice to have a couple other people recording. Had some people rooting me on, which was always nice to see. Unfortunately, didn't get the win, but all in all, the event was awesome. I just wish some of you guys and more of you could come to these races. It's a blast. That's the end of this race. I didn't get to film Dick on this one. It turned into hectic pretty fast. I should have some video of each passes that you probably have watched. At this point, I'll see what people send me. I didn't get a chance to film stuff between rounds because they were running us pretty quick. And look at that sunset. Isn't that awesome? Trek sunsets are the best. But yeah, I ended up breaking the exhaust off the bike, which I think I did at home and didn't notice. I was pulling the bike into the garage after the last test session and banged into the garage frame, and I think I pushed the exhaust over and it broke one of the welds, and I didn't catch it until after the first pass today. So I made the second pass with it cracked, and it got worse. Wasn't going to go up for the third pass. I was just going to call it a day, and decided to say, fuck it, my map is close enough that I don't need the O2 on the bike. So I broke off the rest of the exhaust, left a little nub hanging out of the turbo. We had a little bit of a bend to it, so I pointed it away from my foot, and we ran it. And I ended up winning first round. I had to buy a second round, and I went to the finals and lost because it blew the plenum off the bike. So total fluke scenario. I've never had that happen before. Again, I don't know if it's something that was out of place before I made the passes today, but I was struggling on the two-step a little bit, trying to get a smooth two-step. And I looking back, I think it might have been something going on already. That plenum wasn't on all the way or whatever. But yeah, I went 001 on the tree in the final. So I threw away a good reaction time. But the guy was racing. Danny, he got a fast bike. It's a nitrous boost up. He's fast and he's smooth. Like two deadly combo. But yeah, I lost. I got outran. I didn't maintenance my stuff as good as I should have. But that's how it goes. But I runnered up. We only had 6 bikes, I think. So not a huge turnout, but it's cold. There's other stuff going on this weekend, and there was guys that didn't go this weekend or race this weekend because they're going to Kings of Grudge next weekend. So just a lot going on that made for a low turnout at this event. But it was borderline a no prep race. They sprayed and drug in the morning, and then they didn't touch the track the rest of the day. So the fact that I still managed to go a couple 480s, one 2.0 60 foot. Had one pretty quick pass, but I didn't go as good as I would have liked out of the hole. But it was pretty decent. Had one abortion of a pass where it spun, hooked, wheelied, bucking bronco. It was terrible. And then yeah, in the final, it spun, but then it spun, but then I got back into it, and then I hit second gear, and I heard it like uncoupling an airline, like a shop hose airline. You heard that, and I'm like, and the bike nosed over. I'm like, probably not the best noise to hear. But get back to the pits, shake it down, look it over, pull the tank off. Sure shit, plenum is hanging, and my straps that hold it on, it actually unbent the eyelets. But I'll go through some of that. I'll try to put together some more stuff. But you're seeing this at the end after I probably already edited some stuff together. But yeah, we'll get it fixed up and do it again. Well, at this point, wrapped up the racing. It's Sunday. I already got the bike back on the lift, but it got pretty hectic at that event. That's why I didn't get to film much between rounds. We were running us pretty quick, and I was just having little quirky issues with the bike. Still was working on like getting the two-step to stabilize and stuff, but after the first pass, got back to the pits, realized the exhaust was broke. It was broke before the O2 sensor, so that was reading incorrect. Luckily my map is close enough and I wasn't making any real fueling changes or nothing. I just ran it on the map. It can only correct so much. I got it pretty tight that it can't do a bunch of crazy corrections, but I let it ride for the second pass. I'm like, I'll show you what happened, but it was cracked about halfway around. After the second pass, it was broke worse. So I decided to just unplug the O2 sensor and break the pipe off where it was cracked the rest of the way. So it left me with like a 3-inch dump coming off the turbo. And then I'll show you what that all looks like now. So this is what I was running with. Just a little dump coming off there. The O2 sensor, normally this is up here like that roughly. I rotated this piece around to kick it out a little bit away from the motor. But normally that's under there like that. O2 sensor is normally there. So that wire normally ran up through here and was plugged in over here. So I decided to run the rest of the event with just a dump like that and no O2 sensor. And the bike was running fine. Track was tricky. This was a low prep event, so it wasn't a full radial prep, but it wasn't a no prep. This is like they sprayed and dragged it in the morning, and then they really didn't do much the rest of the day. So the track was okay. I still got a couple 120 60 foots out of it, a couple decent 8th mile hits. But I also had a couple shit passes because it spun the tire, spun and hooked, then it wheelied. So a couple of my passes were somewhat of a mess, but I did manage to go to the finals. But unfortunately, in the finals, the plenum blew off. And as you can see, my straps that are normally on here aren't here right now. That's because I took them off at the track and I put the plenum back on, fired everything, but fired the bike back up, and everything's fine. It popped off in second gear, and I'm not running a ton of boost. It was still only like a 17, 18 pounds of boost kind of event for me. I think I just had a failure, and it was just conveniently enough. It was the strap on this side. It actually just pulled the eyelet open on one side, because normally these are bolted here. I'll show you actually. These guys. These are just like your hardware store turnbuckles, and they've been working fine. They were on the 1000 setup the entire time. They were on this the entire time. And boost levels have not changed. So that's why I'm thinking there was a failure. These are safety wired together because I didn't want them, once I tighten them down, I don't want them backing off because there's no jam nuts, because they tighten down too close, I run out of thread. So I can't have a jam nut on there, but I safety wire them so they can't turn. But as you can see, there's a hook on one end and an eyelet that is not welded shut on that end. But these hook into the frame, and then they're bolted behind here. They're bolted in like that. Well, what happened on that side over there is I think one of them was either fatigued or just wasn't strong, or something happened. But you can see clearly it spread itself open. It just straight up peeled that eyelet open. So that caused this corner to fail. And if you know how, these are 0506 1000 throttle bodies. And there's no, like, there's silicone couplers that hold the plenum to the throttle bodies. And there's grooves in the plenum side for that coupler to kind of grab into. But the throttle body side is smooth. There's nothing to retain that other than the friction fit of the clamp. So I think what happened was just under boost. There is pressure in there. Not a ton, but there is some. And I think what happened is one of these just decided to let go, and it gave this enough wiggle room that it popped up. And it happened when I shifted in the second gear, so the bike made that popping noise like you hear when you disconnect an air hose, and it nosed over. And I coasted it out, clutched it. The bike was still running and idling. I rode it back on the return road. I was giving her some revs. It was running fine, got back to the pits, pulled the tank off, and we saw that the plenum was sitting all popped up funny on one side. And like, well, that's what happened. So at least it wasn't nothing major. Fired it back up in the pits, and I rode it up and down my driveway here a little bit, and everything acts and functions as normal, other than my exhaust is broken, and that too. I'm pretty sure, honestly, I initially thought maybe I did that at the house here when I put the bike. I come through the garage over here, and my truck sits outside, so there's just a little corner hole opening, and I pull through. Last time I pulled this thing in on the lift after my last time out testing, I kind of banged into the garage door opening there. I thought I had just whacked the turbo side, just hit it here a little bit, but then I thought, well, maybe I hit the exhaust and it pushed it over, because the initial crack was around the outside edge here, so this was pushed in and it dented the pipe on this side. So I pushed it hard enough that it pushed it into the clutch cover and dented it on that bolt. Then I started thinking, the last time I loaded this up after testing at the track, I got it hung up on the side of my trailer. There's a bag chair at the back of the trailer that's bungee corded off to the side. I hit that bag chair wheeling the bike in, so I had some speed. It hit the bag chair and stopped the bike and kind of pushed me over, and I never looked that close at it. I never would have assumed it would have broken or cracked the exhaust. I think that's where it happened, and because it's all black, I just honestly never saw it amongst all my maintenance and changing oil. This has never been an issue, so I wasn't used to having to look for any cracks. It's a pretty short exhaust. It's just moving exhaust through it. It's lightweight. It's aluminum. It's never been a problem. It's all I've ever had on the 1000. It was fine on this bike up until this point. I'm going to repair this and put it back together with a new... This obviously, it tore from me breaking it off. That was all that was left holding it on. So what I'm going to do is cut out that section at that weld, and then this weld, this piece coming off here is still good, but I got some 3-inch stuff left over yet. So I'll cut a new section, and we'll get this, welded back up and tucked up in there how it was before. So this isn't really a big deal. It was just a minor setback. I was about ready to throw in the towel after my second test pass and just not deal with it. But luckily I stuck it out and went to the finals. Didn't win, but still went to the finals. We didn't have a huge turnout with bikes, but it's hit or miss around here, especially this time of year. And with it being a low prep event, there was a couple guys that didn't want to run on the low prep because they run auto or full auto trans. They spin the tire, there could be some problems. So they opted not to run, but ideally we'd like to see some more people coming out and running at some of the prep stuff that we do. But yeah, so I'm going to order up some better turnbuckles. I'm going to kind of change up how this is all situated and not rely on just hooks and then basically an open eyelet on one end. It had never been a problem before, but I'll make it better and it'll never be a problem again. I made a comment at the track, because that's not something, normally I don't even have to take the gas tank off the bike. I'd run this thing like, I made a comment, it's like a drag and drive bike. I make sure I have all my testing and my ducks in a row before I ever get to the track. I want to get to the track and not work on it unless I have to legit fix something. So I don't do a lot of checking over between rounds other than like the basics. I'll look things over in general, look for leaks or whatever, something might catch my eye. But I rely on the fact that all my testing has gotten all the bugs worked out before I even get to a race. When I get to a race, the package I have is what I have, and I should have all the bugs sorted out enough that I don't have to keep checking things. So now that I have some failure points here, I'll fix them, make them better, we'll keep an eye on them, but eventually this will no longer be a problem. This is kind of how I've always worked through this whole bike after having it for so many years. You just kind of figure out how to sort it out where I don't have to monkey with it at the track. But yeah, everything else held up. Bike, like I said, 17 pounds of boost, making good power, everything's working. I'm digging the oil pressure after each pass is nice to have. What else? I did make a couple shock adjustments because it was low prep. It seemed to work because I still had a couple 1.20 60 foots. So I didn't get the 119s or nothing back, but it was close. So I was happy with that. Altogether, it was a great event. It's so much fun running them. It was a beautiful day, sunny, kind of cool. But we'll wrap this one up, kind of a race recap at the end here after I already did my race ending video at the track. So if I'm double speaking, or if I'm saying something now that I already said, it's because we're a day after the race and I don't know what I recorded. But yeah, that's it for now. Next video, I think we'll be doing some fixing. We'll see what I find for parts and things to fix here.